Rudy Salazar is a journeyman mechanic. For the past 20 years, his experienced hands have put thousands of cars back on the road. But Rudy Salazar has never actually seen an engine. He has been blind since birth. He uses sound and touch to explore the workings of the car.
You can't fingerprint me that way. Then I listen for the end. Okay, you hear it stop, okay? I've gone far enough. Now this one here, I'm gonna just, by feel, adjust the dial.
Rudy spent years working around cars. He owned a gas station for a while. Then, through a state rehab program, Rudy attended a series of schools where he fine-tuned his skills as an auto mechanic. One day, Rudy's rehab counselor told a Dodge dealer he was sending in a new apprentice.
So he got him all sold on the idea of hiring me first. Then he thought, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, he's blind. And had the bosses and a few of the other mechanics when I first started in the shop constantly watching me or coming up to me or trying to look over my shoulder when they didn't think I knew, but of course I knew they were watching.
The Americans with Disabilities Act, which became law in 1992, finally outlaws discrimination against people like Rudy. It also helps the disabled and employers set up new ways to work together.
725. I'm out of here. The biggest problem I really see, even after they complete their trade, is selling the idea to an employer that blind persons can work in a natural environment, just like any normal person, I guess.
Rudy says he might have some advantages over the sighted mechanics.
In most cases, yeah, I can hear rattles or a squeak or wind noise, where they can't, or where they can't find it very well. They'll take me on a road test with them so I can help them out. There was one time I was working on a car over here and I dropped a bolt down inside the frame and stuff, and I spent 10, 15 minutes looking for it. Jerry come over, he looked for it, we couldn't find it, and I told Rudy, and he said, oh, yeah, I know where it's at, and he walked right over there, reached right up in there, and he pulled it out, like, within 30 seconds. Yeah.
Rudy says his coworkers are a big help when he needs their sight.
I think the hardest part in this profession, well, for me anyway, of course, is reading the instrumentation. But it really isn't that difficult because any of the guys next to me or any of the guys in the shop take the time and, with no problem whatsoever, look something up for me if I need some specs.
Richard, thank you.
Ed Sherfield is the shop dispatcher.
And I had a customer walk in one day, and he was watching him while we were working on the customer's car. And he said, that man is blind, isn't he? And I said, yeah. And he says, I don't believe it. And I said, yeah. He said, well, I don't want him working on my car. And I said, well, he will be working on it later on. And I said, you're perfectly willing to sit here and watch him if you like. And I said, you'll find that he won't make any mistakes. As a result, the customer left the shop very pleased with him. And in his future visits, he always insisted that Rudy work on his car.
Rudy says not everyone has mechanical skills. It's a talent, just like music. On weekends, Rudy plays saxophone in a 7-piece band.
The music, to me, it's really relaxing. I love it. It gets me out of my wife's hair on the weekends and still meet a lot of people. I've been playing for quite a few years, so. You do have to work for a living, and that there's no one out there going to do it for you. And you do, you're only going to get out of your life what you put into it.